Those who can, do. Those who can't, teach. You can imagine how much we loved it when my classmates and I first heard that. Ironically, I became a school teacher for a bit. Let me tell you about it. I had an excellent art education at senior school and went on to study at the Slade School of Art in London. The Slade had its ups and downs, but one tutor in particular stood out for me as being truly helpful in my life was Geoffrey Camp, and I'd like to tell you about him, but I'll save that for my next video. A couple of years later, I was married with children, and since a degree in fine art qualifies you for nothing except teaching, I took a part-time job teaching in a girls' school in Wiltshire. At that point, I had only had a few days of experience at Worthing, and from there I had to really think about what I thought were the important aspects to teach young artists, and I can tell you now that if you really want to understand something, you should go out there and teach it. It fires up your brain and engages you in the subject, and you start to attain a degree of clarity in your thought. The "they that can't do, teach" mantra I'd so loved would have felt like a bit of an embarrassment if I hadn't begun to realise that teaching can be part of the process of learning. There was, however, one occasion when the idea played in my favour. The school I was teaching at was competitively academic, and some of the staff created a kind of pecking order whereby they thought that as they taught history, English or languages, or God forbid, geography, that they were academics and in some way superior to those teaching art, music or even theatre. So I felt it my duty to explain to them that the number of jobs available to those with what they considered academic degrees was enormous, but the jobs available to artists, musicians and actors were as rare as hen's teeth. Therefore, the school had been able to attract the people of the highest calibre in the arts, whereas the staff working in the academic area were rather substandard. The look on their faces was priceless. Of course, some of these teachers were excellent at their jobs, but I think it was good for them to know there are things of value in the world beyond their understanding. I gave up my job at the school more than 25 years ago, but still do some part-time teaching for the Royal Drawing School. Interacting with students and designing courses for them continues to challenge my ideas, so that as I grow older, I continue to go forward. In that way, it reminds me of what a girl I once knew told me about sharks. Sharks have to move forward even when they're asleep so that they can get oxygen from the water that flows across their gills. They need to do that to breathe. So if they didn't keep moving forward, they would die. Come to think of it, she turned out to be a bit of a shark herself. She would make a face like this